Before we get started here tonight, I figured maybe it was time to get a breath of fresh air and reflect on how we got here, to this night, and to this epic culmination of 2 amazing years. But for me personally, a lifetime of waiting for virtual reality to be an actual reality. See, ever since I was a kid, I always dreamed about playing a video game from the inside. A dream fueled by movies like The Lawnmower Man and TV shows like Nick Arcade. And even though PlayStation VR has been here for 2 years now, it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing. There have been so many highs and lows that for the PSVR faithful, it's been like a roller coaster ride. There were killer launch games right out of the gate, and always promises of more AAA games just around the corner. But there were also a lot of experiences, shovelware, cancelled games, forced blinders, and mandatory teleportation that made us roll our eyes at every turn. But despite all of that, for those of us that have been waiting for consumer VR our whole lives, PlayStation VR delivered in a big way. But somehow, no one else seemed to realize this. Major media outlets refused to cover VR games, and when they did, they sent their most motion sickness-prone reviewers to do it. And the backlash from traditional gamers stuck in their ways who never even tried VR continues to this day, which left it up to us, the early adopters, the hardcore gamers, the PSVR YouTubers, the game cats, and the entire community of everyone who wasn't afraid to try something new. It was their mission, it was our mission, to spread the word. So that's what these awards are all about, a celebration of not only the games and all the talented developers behind each and every one of them, but also the VR evangelists, the ones spending their own time, money, and creative efforts to forge a movement and talk about this thing, this little device from the future that we're insanely passionate about. Alright, with all of that out of the way, take a seat, get comfortable. The show's about to begin. Presenting the award for Best Launch Game, Michelle Baracchioni.
Nothing sells a console like an amazing lineup of launch titles. Getting to bring your new piece of hardware home or having it delivered from Amazon with a pile of new games to play is something most people get to experience only once or twice in a generation. Usually there's some shovelware or some up-res ports, but there's almost always something special, a showpiece, something you want to show to all your friends. PlayStation VR launched with more than 20 games. And although we were new to VR then, we're still astonished by how great some of them are, even till this day. So let's take a look at the ones that stood out the most. These are the nominees for Best Launch Game.
I felt powerful, felt strong. It was cool to have like the belt on and to just like grab your stuff. And
Batman Arkham VR by Rocksteady Studios.
Closest thing that you could possibly get to being Batman.
seeing like the I'm Batman and just like it's pretty cool.
It is beautiful. Oh man, the graphics on that, you are Batman.
You feel like you're transported someplace else.
every victory.
Eve Valkyrie by CCP Games.
Every mistake. And I learn.
Hello, human. Welcome to an accurate simulation of office worker. Time to jump.
By Alchemy Labs.
This looks like it'll taste interesting. Pistons in the engine, don't need those. Delicious.
Until Dawn, Rush of Blood by Supermassive Games. And the winner is Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. What better way to spend the Halloween season than combining light gun shooters, slasher movies, and haunted houses with the scariest roller coaster ride of your life? Congratulations, Supermassive Games.
Presenting the award for Best Wave Shooter, God Cannon.
Giving out an award for Best Wave Shooter might initially seem a little strange. There are no awards for Best First-Person Shooter or Adventure Game categories, so why wave shooters? As PSVR gamers, it's an homage to our past, a time when we endured, when two move controllers meant two guns in yet another game that had us facing wave after wave of enemies. But some of them were also really fun. So let's take a moment to look back and honor the ones that stood out the most. These are the nominees for Best Wave Shooter. Shooty Fruity by End Dreams.
You call yourselves a resistance. But what are you resisting? Advance.
Raw Data by Servios Inc.
Immortality. You are simply a weapon.
The Brookhaven Experience by Phosphor Games.
So you will cry my name, Grandmaster Owen, Virtual Space.
Blasters of the Universe by Secret Location.
Oh my god, that's a huge gun! You suck! Oh my god, you suck!
And the winner is Blasters of the Universe by Secret Location. No other game combines the dexterity of Super Hot mixed with the chaos of bullet hell so perfectly. Blasters truly gives the term wave shooter back the respect it deserves. Congratulations on the well-deserved win, Secret Location.
Presenting the award for Best Horror Game, Dave Station VR.
At first glance, making a scary game in VR can seem almost too easy. The audience is willing to give up their sense of sight and sound and be completely immersed in whatever terrifying world the developers have created. Jump scares are scarier, danger feels more dangerous, and who knows what terror could be lurking around that next dark corner. So when we discuss the best of the best in terms of VR horror, you know we're talking about true fear. The nominees for Best Horror Game are Resident Evil by Capcom,
Be careful. They'll be looking for you.
I'm sorry to impose, but would you hear my confession?
The Exorcist Legion VR by Wolf and Wood Interactive.
May I ask you a question? Why does your god swim in such filth?
The Persistence by Firesprite Games.
Help me! Help me!
Transference by Ubisoft and Spectre Vision.
Hey, can you hear me?
It's coming!
And the winner is Resident Evil 7. There are so many scary PSVR games out there, but few can compete with the bakers and the molding's AAA masterpiece. Congratulations to Capcom.
Presenting the award for Best Multiplayer Game, Gamertag VR.
Hello everyone, my name is GT, and let me start by saying thank you to Brian Paul and PSVR Parole for putting this together, and an even bigger thank you for having me on this show. This is an incredible way to celebrate PlayStation VR's second anniversary, at being at the top as well. We've got some of the best exclusives. So the category I've been blessed with is best multiplayer game on PlayStation VR. Thank you very much for giving me this category. It's very special to me. I love multiplayer games. And I'll always remember the first time going online with Halo 2, which must have been like 14 years ago. That social side of gaming, combined with competitive, it really, really changed my life, and I completely love it. But fast forward to today, we are now fist bumping in Rec Room, we are high-fiving into the top, and these feel like real memories for me, real social events. And also that brings us along to VR anxiety. Listen, guys, if you suffer from VR anxiety, reach out to the communities. We've got so many great communities. PlayStation VR, this particular community is the most non-toxic on the internet, and I'm really proud of that. I think it's really great that we all stick together, we all help each other. So don't sit there and not talk, don't be alone. Reach out to other people, and you'll be surprised how many people have suffered from it and have now got over it. So that brings us to today's nominations for the best multiplayer games on PlayStation VR. We have Battlezone by Rebellion.
Shields reaching critical. Assemble the team. Player 1, Player 2, Player 3, Player 4.
Rec Room by Against Gravity.
player, the loneliest of games.
Starblood Arena by Whiteman Dreams.
So many people here to show.
Team Carnage, eliminate the enemy team. Time to clean house, starting with that guy.
Breach the firewall via access point to reveal the laptop coordinates and get me in the back door for the hack.
I found the access. Firewall Zero Hour by First Contact Entertainment.
Behind you.
Data transfer online. Detecting hostiles.
Under 6, skip. Alright, let's get in position for breach. And the winner of Best Multiplayer Game on PSVR 2018 is... Firewall Zero Hour by First Contact Entertainment. Congratulations, guys. Well deserved. What an amazing game you've got. Thank you, everyone, for having me on the show. I feel truly blessed, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Man, that was intense.
Presenting the award for Best Move Support, Jeremy King.
Nothing screams cutting-edge VR like having a dust-off 7-year-old underused and underappreciated controllers from the past generation of gaming. The PlayStation Move controllers are okay at best on the PlayStation 3, so nobody expected them to track so precisely like they do with the PlayStation VR. And in some games they're mandatory, and in some games they're optional, and in some games you can't even imagine playing it any other way. And those are the games that we want to honor here tonight. Here are the nominees for Best Move Support. To the Top by Electric Hat Games.
Captain, I'll be tactical. Captain, do you want me to up power to the engines?
Yeah, get engines ready, please.
Star Trek Bridge Crew by Ubisoft Entertainment.
Oh no, whoa.
Bring us to a stop, please, Helm. In conflict, we will rescue these people.
The Bad.
Hop Along the Badlands by From the Future. Super Hot VR by the Super Hot team. And the winner is Super Hot VR, making full use of having two hands to interact and to fight back makes every moment of Super Hot VR a moment to remember and one of PlayStation VR's best games. Congratulations, Team Super Hot! Yay!
Presenting the award for Best Sci-Fi Game, CJ and Beep from PSVR World.
As kids, a lot of us dreamt about being astronauts, members of Starfleet, or just exploring alien worlds. But I don't think many of us actually thought we'd ever get the chance to do any of those things. And as the years went by, and real life took hold, a lot of those fantasies fell by the wayside. Which is one of the many reasons why VR is so special. It reminds us of those childhood dreams and brings them to life in ways we never could have imagined, and a few of those games allowed us to explore those vast alien landscapes better than the rest. These are the nominees for Best Sci-Fi Game.
It feels weird to say it, but Father seems almost happy.
The Apex Construct by Fast Travel Games.
Ready for this?
Megaton Rainfall by Pentadimensional Games. Farpoint by Impulse Gear.
Location unknown.
Do you want me to up power to the engines?
Yeah, get engines ready, please. We're gonna warp to Gamma Hydra.
Engage.
Star Trek Bridge Crew by Ubisoft Entertainment.
Please help. In conflict, we will rescue these people.
I'm doing a scan right now.
Captain, Klingon ship decloaking.
Red alert!
And the winner is Farpoint. The game was simply incredible at launch, and playing with the AIM controller brought us a level of immersion we'd never seen before. Since then, we've gotten co-op levels and PvP, solidifying Farpoint as a must-have PSVR game. Congratulations, Impulse Gear!
Presenting the award for Best Physical Workout, Seraphim 190.
Hey, what's up? It's Seraphim Weinstein, 190 here. Welcome. Hey, makers of video games? We're gamers, we're not athletes. So why the fuck have you got us getting up off our couches and doing crazy shit like running marathons and throwing punches? Are you batshit crazy? I just wanted to play a fun little game. Now I'm dripping sweat all over my blouse. PlayStation VR gamers have collectively lost £21 million. Fact check it. From all the needless physical activity. This is ridiculous. I want my money back. I didn't want to lose weight. I liked the way I was, plump. Here are the nominees for the best physical workout. Knockout League by Grab Games.
Lights out.
Spark by CCP Games.
You're ready for this.
Creed, Rise to Glory by Servius.
Hollywood Creed!
You better stay back there.
Sprint Vector by Servius.
I didn't make this course too hard for you, did I?
Only the fast survive.
From downtown.
Creed, Rise to Glory. This game is awesome, and Servius deserves all the praise it's getting. Congratulations.
Hi, this is Kim, producer on Creed Rise to Glory. First, I'd like to thank our PlayStation community for all their continued support and feedback. We could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. Next, PSVR Without Parole. Thank you so much for this nomination for Best Physical Workout. We had so much fun making the game. We're so happy to see everyone's having just as much fun playing it. Thank you to my amazing dev team. They worked so hard to get this product out to everyone. Put our heart and souls into it. And lastly, thank you, Servios family, for always supporting us and making sure that we had what we needed to get our jobs done. Look out for more updates for Creed Rise to Glory to come. Thank you.
Presenting the award for Best Racing Game is Nat from 7 Degrees of Gaming.
Thanks, guys. So we all know there's certain genres of games out there that literally take it to the next level of immersion when you switch them from 2D over to virtual reality. And racing games definitely take it right to the top when it comes to that. Whether it's the sense of speed and exhilaration as you tear up the track, it just makes you want to go whee, or at least I did when I played Wipeout, to the actual gameplay advantages that you get from virtual reality. That better perception of distance that you get. You can work out the perfect apex as you turn into the corner. You can intuitively glance out your side windows at your opponents as you hopefully go past them. And for the real hardcore guys out there that want to take it even further to that level of immersion, they can get themselves a steering wheel, a gear shifter and pedals and just go for it. So we're now going to take a look at the nominees for the fastest balls to the walls games for PlayStation VR.
Keeps your perception that you are actually in the car. Just naturally see everything how you would if you were driving for real.
Gran Turismo Sport by Polyphony Digital.
You take a car, you sort of look at it as you go by. You sort of have to turn your head physically to look in the mirror. You look up to look in the central mirror. Then I was turning my head as far as I could.
Dirt Rally by Codemasters. Drive Club VR by Evolution Studios. Wipeout Omega Collection by Clever Beans and Epos. And the winner is Wipeout Omega Collection. So congratulations to Clever Beans and Epos. It took what was already one of the most complete racing packages for PS4, and thanks to a free PlayStation VR patch, became one of the must-have titles and one of the best reasons to buy a PlayStation VR headset.
Presenting the award for Best Puzzle Game, Polish Parole.
What defines a puzzle game? Does every interaction have to be solving another piece of puzzle, or can there be moments of exploration or sword fighting? Maybe you're locked in a booby, trapped car surrounded by poisonous gas, or in an elevator that says empty floors but only has 2 floors. What the fuck is that all about? No matter what form we get them in, puzzle games have found special home on PlayStation VR, and tonight we are to recognize our favorites. Those are nominees for Best Puzzle Game. Moss by Polyarch. Tumble VR by Supermassive Games. By the way, Tumble VR still better than the Impatient and Bravo team combined.
You may think you already know what it takes to be a spy, but I wouldn't get too comfortable.
I Expect You to Die by Shell Games.
Clever, and most importantly, inconspicuous, in order to outsmart our nemesis, Dr. Zor. Our previous agents were, well...
But I still think you're wrong about our work here. The people that come to the Static Institute of Retention are...
Static by Tarsier Studios.
They're explorers, adventurers, soldiers, warriors, athletes. I could go on forever.
And the winner is... Static. I would make lots of joke about my hands being trapped in a box, but Brian told me to keep it clean. That's what he just wrote on the message. That's his jokes. Pretty tragic. But what can you do? Congratulations to Tarsier Studios, and I'm off to play some Static. And that's it, bye.
Can we do this again, but no one laughing, and just Merv sitting in the middle and talking like that?
We're up against some really genuinely good puzzle games. Yeah. Okay. Do you not believe that we would win against really good puzzle?
And we're really grateful. We really liked making the game, and it's super cool that people like playing it. To accept this amazing prize.
Stop! I'm sorry. I'm not
And I think that's quite enough from Kevin. Apologies for what you just had to sit through there. I'm doing a few experiments, and as you can see, it's not gone well. And now it's trying to take credit for all my hard work. So clearly there's more work to do. However, the real reason I'm here is to say thank you, in fact, because I came in this morning to find this on my little sideboard. This thing, I assume, is some sort of golden well done from some mysterious outdoor party. Have you seen this? It looks like it looks like a thing, in fact. Look at this. It's the same. Isn't that clever? So, I suppose thank you. I guess I appreciate it. And I have nothing more to say, really. Other than goodbye.
Presenting the award for Best Use of VR, Desra.
There have been versions of virtual reality since the early 90s, but it's only in the past few years that consumers have actually been able to try it at home. Thanks to hardware like the PSVR, gamers and developers have access to this new medium. But the hardware is useless without compelling games and experiences that explore the potential of VR. The best use of VR category is for those games and developers that have taken risks and experimented with VR in novel and exciting ways, blazing a trail for all who follow. These are the games that show us what's possible in this new medium. These are the music makers, and these are the dreamers of dreams. The nominees for best use of VR are...
If you don't give me what I want, I'll tell everyone the truth about you.
Why would Tesla pay to have a blind assistant?
To keep his secret safe from prying eyes.
The Invisible Hours by Tequila Works.
So she lies for a living.
I'm giving him what he wants most. Another dead son.
Detached by Anshar Studios. Pixel Rip 1989 by Arvor Immersive Experiences.
Save knights in shining underwear, fend off ravenous pigeons, and explore the darkest corners of the headmaster's office.
Superhot VR by Superhot Team. And the winner is Pixel Rip 1989 by Arvor Immersive Experiences. This is love letter to gaming, both classic and cutting edge. It's a deeply personal coming-of-age story wrapped in a brilliantly subversive use of VR. Congratulations to Ana Ribeiro and the rest of the team at Arvor. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thanks PSVR with Parole. We're so excited for this. You guys are awesome. It's an honor to get this prize. We're so excited. We are actually here in an event right now in Indicate. Yeah! Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. So excited. Pixel Rips!
Presenting the award for Most Immersive World, it's John Briggs.
VR games aren't exactly known for their 4K cutting-edge graphics. Instead, what sells the VR is immersion. For the first time in the history of video games, we're not just watching a character run around on a foreign world on screen. Virtual reality does what the Lawnmower Man movie promised us 25 years ago. Put us inside the game and redefines the word immersion. We are the characters, these are our worlds. It's a feeling and experience that is impossible to describe unless you've experienced it yourself. Now, the PlayStation VR library is filled with immersive worlds, but a few stand head and shoulders above the rest. These are the nominees for Most Immersive World. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR by Bethesda Softworks. Astrobot Rescue Mission by Japan Studios' Asobi team.
If there are any other survivors out there, let me know.
Robinson the Journey by Crytek. Moss by Polyarch Inc. And the winner is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR. We're making it official. It doesn't matter how many times you've played it before, you haven't played Skyrim until you've played Skyrim on PSVR and experienced the wonderful, beautiful, dragon-filled world of Tamriel. Congratulations.
And presenting tonight's final award for Best PlayStation VR Game is Brian Paul. I'm here tonight in the company of the hardest working developers in the industry, who made the games that we played, reviewed, poured over, and cherished over the last 2 years. You're so dedicated to your craft and VR as a whole that if we mentioned your game at all tonight, whether it be a nominee or an actual award winner, hopefully you understand exactly how much your work means to us. You saved gaming just when it was getting stale. And along with Sony, you're bravely stepping into the future, and I can't wait to see where that takes us. I'm honored to be presenting the award tonight for Best PlayStation VR Game, and for all the voters out there, I know this wasn't an easy choice. So, let's take a look at the nominees. Astrobot Rescue Mission by Japan studio Asobi Team. The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim VR by Bethesda Softworks. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard by Capcom.
Breach the firewall via access point to reveal the laptop coordinates and get me in the back door for the hack.
I found the access point over here.
Firewall Zero Hour by First Contact Entertainment.
Hostiles. Under 6, Skip. Alright, let's get in position for breach.
And the winner is Astrobot Rescue Mission. Team Asobi delivered a game that made us smile from the very first second, with its amazing soundtrack, colorful worlds, and fantastic gameplay. This stunning new take on the platforming genre belongs in each and every PlayStation VR gamer's library. The competition for the title of Best PlayStation VR Game was fierce, but Astrobot Rescue Mission deserves this win. It truly is a game for everybody. Congratulations, Japan studio, Asobi Team.
Hey guys, this is Nicholas.
Hey, it's Jamie.
And we want to thank you very much for the award you're giving us for Astrobot Rescue Mission. And we want to say a big thank you to all the gamers out there and all the PSVR fans who really showed us support for the past few months, right?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you from all the team. Everybody's really happy, everybody's enjoying the game. Yeah, it makes us feel great, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That concludes the first annual Without Parole PlayStation VR Award Show. But stick around for a bonus award show wrap-up episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR in just a moment. All right, you guys, that pretty much does it for the PlayStation VR first annual Without Parole PlayStation VR Award Show.
Super exciting.
Jeez, that was so much work.
Yeah, no, there was that too. Yeah.
No one will ever know how much work that all took. But before we even start talking about anything that happened, I just want to give a big shout out, because behind the scenes, it wasn't just me doing everything, and there was so much work involved. I want to thank you. Big shout out to all the developers that spent their time sending us acceptance videos.
Seriously, that was beyond amazing.
Never thought in a million years any of that was going to happen. And then on top of that, thank you to all the presenters from all the other YouTube channels, from our YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for again spending time on a project that is not your own.
No, it's really a statement to like not only how awesome this the games are, this platform is, but how awesome the community that we're a part of has become.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is the one exception. We rail on and on about how bad like online communities are in general, but this is just the fact that like all these different people with their own their own channels, their own stuff they should be promoting, are all teaming up together to talk about this thing we love. It's fantastic. It's just love everywhere.
It's amazing. Yep. So thank you to everyone. It was awesome to come together as a community. All the game cats, all the headsets, all of the I don't know what a gamer tag fans called
tags,
skin tags.
I was trying not to.
You're
go there.
Adorable, all of you. We love you all for real.
I'll never have you removed.
So. In lieu of this great celebration, yes. I think it's only fitting that
after party.
Well, this is sort of the after party. Obviously, we're keeping an eye on all your comments as we go. Thank you so much for being so active during the entire thing. But I do want to say, before we dive into all the categories and all the surprises and all the upsets.
Yeah,
that's a sports thing, right?
Were they upsets?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever.
No, this is a sports thing.
I wasn't upset.
No,
I was pretty happy the whole time. The deal is that a lot of this came together last minute, right? There was no way I could have planned for how much work this was going to take, right. And so there are certain things that happened. There are certain even when it came down to the categories themselves.
There was a lot of last minute oh, we can't have that as a category, can we?
Oh no, I had people re-vote on 2 different categories. A lot of last minute changes and stuff, and also the fact that we couldn't get all of the audience to vote was a really big disappointment for me, and I know a lot of you were disappointed in that too, but lesson learned. Now I know that I have to start this weeks ahead of time, so next year. Next year.
Yeah, good thing we have it 364 more days to plan the next one.
Yeah, that's not actually how it's going to work. Oh man,
is it October already? Crap.
That's how it's going to work. Absolutely. So let's jump right into this and let's talk about all the different categories.
Okay.
And what happened. So Michelle was out there and she was presenting the award for best launch game.
Best launch game, yeah.
Dude, launch games. It's 2 full years ago we were playing these games and we're still talking about them.
Yeah, well, there's some of them that just nailed it right out of the gate. I mean, Job Simulator for me is still to this day my go-to, oh, you've never tried VR, you're not really a gamer, here.
Yeah.
It's well done. A nice sense of humor to it, a great sense of immersion. You can interact with everything.
You can pick things up and throw them.
Exactly right.
I love that.
It passes the Brian Paul test. So right out the gate, I mean, it was fantastic. It showed a level of control of the medium that even games 2 years later still haven't figured out.
Yeah, and games like Eve Valkyrie, when you have a $60 AAA game by a huge studio. Immediately you're like, wow, maybe that kind of legitimizes the platform on day one, So it was a little bit funny to hear people going, oh, there's no big games. I was like, well, no, on day one we had a bunch of them.
Yeah, my neighbor with VR, this is still one of his favorites.
Yeah. We were talking about how Batman nailed something at launch that almost no other game had nailed yet.
Yeah, there was the first team to figure out that you can do different things with the space in VR than you can in other games, and make it work.
And of course, Until Dawn: Rush of Blood was the winner.
Yeah, no, and rightfully so. Again, this is just came from out of nowhere. If you had told us, a year before it came out, that the guys who made Until Dawn were going to come out with like the definitive shooter for VR, that was like a nonsensical sentence.
Yeah, everything leading up to Rush of Blood was we were like, this is going to be awful. This is going to be such a cash-in title. I was like, Until Dawn's not a big enough franchise for this to be a thing, and as it turns out, it's still one of our favorites.
Yeah.
And then we had God Cannon. Wow, God Cannon's the man, he came out and he did a category that I think you have to do for PlayStation VR games, especially when you're talking about the first 2 years.
Because like every other week you were just tripping over a wave shooter.
Yeah,
it was just
So best wave shooter.
Okay, and spoiled that.
And of course at launch we got Brookhaven Experiment, which was great. Especially if you like scary theme games like me. And then Raw Data was like our big budget one.
Sort of,
Yeah, Blasters of the Universe had a good sense of humor to it.
Yep.
And then Shooty Fruity had Killer Fruit.
Right, and like I said, it's the panic attack simulator. You have to shop and shoot at the same time, and
yeah, it sounds like the worst job ever.
Oh, it absolutely is, but a really fun game.
Yeah, and actually, a little peek behind the curtain. Shooty Fruity got my vote.
Yeah, absolutely got mine as well.
But that was not the winner.
No.
Blasters of the Universe, and I gotta say,
deservedly so.
Oh man. Yeah, Secret Location absolutely killed it with that. All the customization, the awesome sense of humor, the bullet hell gameplay.
Yeah.
We still to this day have not seen that style of gameplay done well.
So any of you who are wondering if like we put our thumbs on the scales, rather obviously Brian and I, our choice was Shooty Fruity, and hey, the masses have spoken.
I voted twice for Rush of Blood. Best horror game. This is my category all over the place, but we let Dave Station do this one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave Station, for sending us that pretty awesome video. And the options. I could have gone on all day. The original list I had to try to figure out what nominees were going to be on this list was like 7 games long.
Yeah.
And to pare it down to The Exorcist, Transference, The Persistence, and Resident Evil 7 sucked because. Unfortunately, I think it's kind of a no-brainer.
Oh, yeah.
Transference is an awesome game. The Persistence is an amazing game. The Exorcist is a really scary experience. But Resident Evil 7 just kind of has it all.
And I think it's saying something that, like, the 3 games you just mentioned have all come out, or Exorcist 4 and 5 and Persistence, they've all come out within the past, like, month or two.
Yeah.
2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And they're all just trounced by a game that came out,
it was like 3 or 4 months after launch. It came out January.
I keep thinking it's a launch title, but no, it wasn't. It was right after launch.
Yeah, and boy, again, always amazing to see a AAA game by an amazing developer. I'm really sucking up to you guys because we really want Resident Evil 2 in VR. And then, of course, Gamertag, our good buddy Gamertag, did...
With his skin tag fans. That's a thing now. Get used to it.
I don't think that's a thing, man. I feel kind of bad now. He had...
we love you.
This category, I feel bad for the other contestants in this category because he did best multiplayer.
Yeah.
And any time, we had Starblood Arena, which has been... always in our top 10 lists.
Absolutely.
White Moon Dreams killed it with that game.
They did, yeah. And it's just... And again, speaking as someone who like has motion sickness issues, somehow they nailed moving around that space without getting dead sick, which is right. I mean, for me, right there, award winning.
Yeah. No, for real. We did a Why We Love episode on Rec Room recently, and we both came around on that. Like we love Rec Room.
180 degree turn.
Amazing.
Yep.
Battlezone. That's a game that I didn't get into until later. It was a solid year after launch that I started playing Battlezone seriously.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. But when you're all competing against Firewall 0 Hour, which is like, it's everybody's favorite game right now.
Again, came out less than a month ago now. No, about 2 months ago.
I don't know, I'm bad at math.
But and completely swamped just everyone's discussion of VR, of PSVR has been Firewall. So
absolutely. I mean, there's no better excuse to crawl out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and shoot your friends online,
or crawl out of bed at 3 in the morning and get shot by your friends online.
That's more what happens to me for sure. And then next up we had the king of all VR kings, the Sofa King himself, do the best move support. It's only fitting because for like the first 2 years he only had one move controller. We finally hooked him up with the second one so that he could play all of these contestants, Super Hot VR, Hop Along the Badlands, Star Trek Bridge Crew, and To the Top.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my vote didn't win this one either.
Okay.
Because I have to say, Hop Along the Badlands. You couldn't wipe the smile off my face. One of my move controllers was a stick horse, and I'm doing this, and I'm shooting bad guys going around. I'm like, how can that not win? It didn't even come close. I think I was the only vote for that one.
Yeah, that's okay.
What did you vote for?
My vote was Super Hot.
Was this supposed to be a confidential ballot? Are we not supposed to be telling who we voted for?
I think at this point it's a little late.
Doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it sells a little bit more of the reality. If we're saying, if we're voting for the things that didn't actually win, then yeah. But yeah, Super Hot, it was one of my first experiences of VR that made me think, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can actually be in that space, moving around, and it actually made me a believer in the move controllers, because before that I was pretty notorious in the channel before VR for crapping all over the move controllers.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. And I do have to give a shout out to the Top. When you learn how to use the move controllers properly in that game, a lot of people when they first try it, I remember I was watching Michelle play, and she's like trying to grab and launch off things, and man, it's just like such subtle wrist movements. It's like because the tracking is so precise,
it is
that you really don't have to do a lot. It's just like quick little wrist movements, and man, you're flying around that obstacle course like nobody's business. All amazing games. This is why this was so difficult. And then next up we had our friend CJ and Beep over at PSVR World do the best sci-fi category. And as much as we love Chris and Beep, I hated this category. This was a category that I had to create to say these are games that have to be recognized.
Yeah,
but I can't get them into the show any other way.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of texting back and forth, like how do we fix this, because we had already sent out some of the ballots for the other one, so we couldn't redo the whole list. So yeah, so it's kind of a fudge, but we had a lot of love for these games, and like Brian said, we just think they needed some recognition.
Yeah, and and honestly, I got to be honest with you. The fact that Farpoint won made me so happy, because I remember when we first made this category, and I was like, if any PlayStation VR award show that doesn't have Farpoint win at least one award is a failed award show. And when all the votes finally came in, this was a close call.
Okay.
This was a really close call, because Star Trek Bridge Crew almost took this one.
Yeah.
This was within just a couple of votes, and I was like, oh man. I was like, and Bridge Crew's amazing too, and didn't win anything.
And that would have been my vote. I mean, I think
Bridge Crew in a perfect world, if we had more entries per category, Bridge Crew would have been in the running for best multiplayer. It would have been one of the 5. But Firewall still would have taken it, and Bridge Crew still wouldn't have won.
Yeah,
it's crazy to think about these things. There's no way for that game to win.
But it's just with the original that came out with the original Star Trek, the original Enterprise Bridge, and then the Kelvin Timeline Enterprise, then the add-ons, next gen stuff. Man, that's just it broke my heart. But you know what? I get it. Farpoint is a great game as well, and. Yeah,
we did our due diligence. Bridge Crew got nominated twice, which very few games get nominated.
And Apex
twice.
Construct, oh my god!
And Apex Construct,
oh my god!
In that like got one vote.
Yeah,
and that sucks, man. But that just proves how amazing the competition is when Apex Construct, an amazing game, like barely got any votes. Then we had Seraphim. Seraphim's video was awesome, and he did best physical workout.
Woo!
So up for the title was Spark, which. I mean, come on. There's still sweat on my floor from the 6 months I played Spark.
He's not exaggerating.
No.
It's kind of gross.
I put a pizza box down. Does that not count for... then Creed, which is, which
like...
Yeah.
Yeah, still very physical, very moving around, but not quite the full gracefulness of Spark, but that's okay.
Nope, definitely not. Sprint Vector, which I don't think there's any gracefulness in Sprint Vector.
No.
And I had muscles hurting in my arms and upper back that I didn't know existed after like a couple days of Sprint Vector. But man, nothing gives you... Sprint Vector was amazing.
It was.
Like we're not just going to give you, like racing, but we're going to give you climbing, and we're going to give you sliding and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap! In a perfect world, Sprint Vector would have also been in the best racing category, but there's only so many slots.
And of course, there's Knockout League, which I think some of it's. I The thing was, the wind is getting knocked out of its sails a little bit by Creed.
Yeah.
But it's a very different thing. It's not a boxing simulator. It's
Punch Out versus Fight Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's arcade versus simulation.
Yep.
And
but still a hell of a workout.
And a lot of fun. Yeah. We love all of these games, and that's again the problem. Creed. In case you weren't paying attention earlier, Seraphim deemed Creed the winner. I didn't tell him who the winner was.
Yeah, can we check those ballots again?
The votes. This was a landslide. There was nothing came close to Creed. It was, I think, Knockout League maybe got 1 vote. Sprint Vector maybe 1 vote. Spark, I think you voted for Spark. And then it was like 18 for Creed. It was ridiculous. Right. Best racing game by our buddy Nat over at 7 Degrees of Gaming. Oh yeah,
Okay.
So he did best racing game since we just brought it up. Wipeout Omega Collection, Gran Turismo Sport, Dirt Rally, Drive Club VR.
That's really tough competition. Or it sounds like it should be really tight competition. There's 4 fantastic games, but
well, I mean the winner obviously was Wipeout Omega Collection, which is insane because it's not the most realistic. I think that would have to go to Gran Turismo Sport.
This is true.
It doesn't. It's not an actual car racing game,
right? And it's not new.
It's not new. In fact, it's a VR patch that we got for free. I don't think many of us expected it to be this good.
Yeah, but I think as we've said in our reviews when we covered it for Why We Love, it has delivered on the promise of VR. Absolutely. In a way that many other games haven't. It's like, we were thinking back in the 90s when you thought about what people were going to do in VR games, this was what you pictured.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Racing around zero gravity tracks and blah, 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 and twisting roller coaster, amazing.
Crazy weapons, awesome soundtrack. Yeah.
Absolutely. My vote actually went to Drive Club VR because it's on sale right now and it's like $4. It's so good. it's blurry, I know, but man, full grid of racers, tons of track variety. I love it.
And almost turned off 2 completely different people to VR entirely.
Listen, I don't think my mother counts as a potential fan.
Okay.
You, however, do.
Yes.
Next up, we had Polish Paul, another awesome presenter. That's not how you pronounce things, but that's perfect.
Presenter.
Because Polish Paul probably didn't pronounce anything right either. This was best puzzle game, another very difficult category.
Yeah,
and he actually addressed in his presentation how difficult it is to classify a game. Because the ones we have here are so different from each other.
Yeah, well, I'd even say we've got Expect You to Die, Moss, Tumble VR, Static. I mean, what do these 4 things have in common? Not a whole lot,
except
really.
that they're kind of puzzle games.
Yeah. I mean, Moss is a platformer, but it's a puzzle platformer, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Tumble VR, again, it's more of a physics-based puzzle, but still puzzle. Static, of course, as I said many times, is the game that turned me on to VR because it used it in such a brilliant way. And I Expect You to Die is what happens when you have a professional making a game. Yeah,
it really shows. Shell Games is awesome, and I hope we see more from I Expect You to Die, that team.
Yeah,
but I mean, and actually, I'm a little bit surprised, to be honest with you. I really thought Moss was going to take this one, but Static by a landslide. So, I mean, way to go, Tarsier.
Yeah.
I mean, it is still one of our favorite games.
It really is.
Yeah,
just the knife edge between creepy and funny that it plays the whole time. It's like Moss is a brilliant piece of art. It's a fantastic game, but for just a pure puzzle experience, I gotta go with Static too.
It's insane. It's the game that justifies the DualShock 4 existence in virtual reality.
Yeah, literally.
it's perfect for PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Next up, we had Dave Station, our friend Dave, do best horror game.
You can skip ahead.
We already did that.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we had you.
Yay!
You were the presenter for best use of VR.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take care of this.
Well, I was gonna say this was also one of my favorite categories because the thing that excites me most about PSVR is the new tools it's giving developers and storytellers. Because there are a lot of games, and some of our favorite games are just ports of flat games, or just games that are built kind of like, oh, it's this kind of game but in VR. This is the category for the people who are trying something new, to make new experiences that could only happen in VR. So we've got Pixel Ripped, Super Hot, The Invisible Hours, and Detached.
I mean, it's so crazy that The Invisible Hours didn't take this. And the fact that there's a non-VR version of Invisible Hours now is even crazier.
Yeah, and this is a game, I will wave the flag for this as long as I'm able. I mean, not only it's taking you like every other VR game, well, most of the VR games, like, oh, the way to be immersive is to give you a first-person perspective on the story and make you part of the story. No, this makes you immersive by doing the exact opposite, pulling you as far removed from the story as you can. You can't interact with anyone. You can't do anything to change the story. But still, it ends up being incredibly immersive and engrossing because you're experiencing this world in VR.
Yeah, Tequila Works absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
And I really think that Anchar Studios killed it too with Detached. I've gone on record in my review even saying maybe it's not the best game. There are some game design issues in Detached.
Yeah.
But man, oh man, it's definitely a best use for VR because for the first time ever, I felt like I was floating in zero gravity. I mean, I don't know what real astronauts feel like, but I bet they feel a lot like this.
But I think for popularity or for creativity, it's absolutely deserved by Pixel Ripped.
100%.
Just the idea of like, oh, we're going to take this brand new cutting edge technology and make you play an 8-bit game.
Yep. Right.
But making it work, and just it's such a love letter to gaming of all generations, and I think at the end a really deep, really personal story.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, awesome category. And then we had John Riggs. Thank you, John Riggs, for being one of our presenters. I think the most famous person on our show tonight.
Hey.
You're not famous. I'm not famous. No one has any idea who we are.
That's true.
Nobody.
I did have someone at the restaurant the other day. So I was like, "Do I know you from somewhere?" I'm like, "Oh, I saw you at first night." I was like, "Yes."
Oh, that was close.
Yeah.
All right.
Why are you here?
So John Riggs did for us the most immersive world.
Boom.
Now this category, to peek behind the curtain a bit, actually took the place. Originally, it was most jaw-dropping graphics.
Jaw-dropping visuals. Yeah.
Jaw-dropping visuals. And I was like, man, how do we do a VR show without doing the most immersive graphics? And so we had to change the ballot a little bit and give you different options to vote from. But I really think these are the 4 most immersive worlds in VR. And that's
absolutely
Skyrim, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Moss, and Robinson the Journey. I can't say that Robinson would have found any other home in this, although when I went back and played it recently, still one of the most visually stunning, immersive worlds on PlayStation VR. It's definitely, everybody should be checking it out. And it's funny that Moss made this.
Yeah, well, I don't think... I think this kind of goes to my point about Invisible Hours. This is a game that, because of the level of detail and care put into building the world, that even though you're not playing it as first... Although, I guess technically you are playing it first person, because you're the first-person ghosty thing.
It's like
reader.
half and half.
Right, but the world is so well realized. Krill's animation is so lifelike and graceful and real that you're immediately swept into being in this real world.
Yep.
This is one of the only games that I've been playing, and I like stood up and kind of cowered my head because I thought I was going to hit my head on the ceiling. That's not there. And if that's not immersive, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. And then Astrobot, I mean, like, it's so funny, man. So funny to be putting Astrobot in a category with Robinson and Skyrim. But holy crap, man. Like, I mean, for a cartoon world, like, I mean, how immersive is this cartoon world?
The fact that, you're playing a platformer and having to get up and out of your seat and look around and turn around corners to see, again, very similar to the Moss situation. The level of detail and care put into building the world immediately tricks your brain into thinking you're actually there.
In building a world with so much depth.
Yes.
Like you having to look straight down to see a part of the level, or like, kind of like looking to see up to see a ledge. You really couldn't have done it as well on any other platform.
Did you start breathing funny the first time you went underwater?
I didn't. Okay. But I did when the first time the wave came off of me. And it left the water on my face. That was the first time I'd ever seen that effect done well.
Yeah.
And I thought the seaweed was hilarious.
I did too.
Yeah.
But of course,
I mean, if Skyrim, I think the scale and scope of Skyrim's world, graphically it's beautiful, especially now that they've really put some extra polish into it. Bethesda killed it, man. They managed to get all of Skyrim into VR almost perfectly.
Yeah, and one of the first times I was playing it here, and when it first came out, and I just walked around and looked up and saw the moon. I was like, oh, Oh, that's the moon. That's what it looks like when you look up at night and see the moon.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just
first time a dragon swoops down from the sky.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, I didn't think this could even be done in VR.
Yeah, it's I mean, Skyrim, like, okay, it's not news to say Skyrim is a great game, but transporting over to VR was more than just adding a little check mark and saying, oh, now it's in VR too. It totally changed the game and raised the bar for everyone else.
Yeah, no, for sure. So congratulations, Bethesda. And then finally, the best overall game. I presented that award. Man, and this, I gotta say, this one surprised me too.
Yeah.
Because I really thought any category that Firewall was gonna be in was just gonna take it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's almost unfair. And in fact, when we limited this to 12 categories, one of the ones we had to cut was best aim support. Because again, I was like, well, Farpoint's there, but there's no way anything's going to win against Firewall.
Right.
And, we want Firewall to get all the respect and all the accolades it deserves.
Yeah.
But when you have to cut a category that has like such a clear-cut winner that you're like, nothing can compete.
Right. And don't get us wrong, Firewall is a great game, but, we want to try to prevent like one game from sweeping everything because, anyways.
We wanted to, here's the thing, and it's been said more than once tonight.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't matter who the winners are. Because these are the best of the best. These are
we're not giving out the cash prizes.
There are no cash prizes. There's no cash to give. If you're a developer and you get recognized on tonight's show, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like that means you're the best of the best. There are a couple hundred PlayStation VR games now, and it was so hard to narrow it down to this list that so many of my favorites didn't make it even as nominees.
Yeah, it was really brutal making these choices.
Yeah. I mean, so even though Firewall deserves every single accolade it gets, somehow it didn't win best overall game.
No. Of course, it was going up against Skyrim, Resident Evil 7, and Astrobot.
This was the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise, because again, I thought Firewall was going to take it. And almost unanimously, Astrobot Rescue Mission took it.
Yeah, that's
landslide.
That's interesting.
So exciting though too.
It is, yeah.
It means that people have a wide scope of interests. Yeah. It means that you guys were out there. You're like, oh, we wanted our military shooter game, but then you tried this third person platformer.
Yeah.
Throwback to N64.
Totally silly, like goofy platformer. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, this is amazing.
Of course, it also could be availability bias, but
maybe who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I mean. Absolutely, everything about Astrobot Rescue Mission makes me smile.
Yeah, no, it's just a brilliantly made game. It's taking generations of learning how to make platformers, taking that knowledge, but also taking the experience they've had in bringing those things into VR in a colorful, fun, silly, and really compelling package. Yeah, it's tough going up against. I know it probably hurt you very personally that it beat Resident Evil 7. But
no, again, it's ones where even though Resident Evil 7 will probably always be my favorite, other games are going to come and go and maybe quickly take the first place from it. Resident Evil 7 is always going to be a favorite of mine, but it made me so happy to see here's something that I did not expect to win, and man, did it ever win!
Yeah,
like by no contest. And again, that team over at Japan Studio, you guys are incredible, and we can't thank you enough for bringing such an amazing game to PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
Yep. And PlayStation VR is getting exclusive after exclusive after exclusive, and as much as we want all VR to succeed because we really think it's the future of gaming, it's kind of cool to see PlayStation VR
actually doing it.
Really, like just in spades, just like in every single category, another amazing exclusive.
Right. And I'd love to find like the few people left still in the press saying VR isn't a thing. Like sit them down, let them play Astrobot, and then ask them later. Okay, really, it's not a thing. It's a perfect example of how great the medium can be.
Absolutely, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
Awesome, Des. Thank you so much for hanging out
my pleasure.
and doing this post wrap up show with me.
Yeah, and get all snazzy.
Yeah, we did. I haven't worn a jacket in a long. This isn't my jacket. I don't know. I found some guy on the street corner. He was like, "I'll trade you this." Guys, thank you again. You guys are absolutely incredible.
Actually, I think that jacket performed for garbage.
Yeah.
Yep. That jacket opened for garbage. Yeah.
There's a litter box episode about this. I just know it. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us all night long for the award ceremony. Thank you to, again, all the presenters. Thank you to all of the developers. Congratulations to all the developers that won, and thank you to all the developers that sent us. I was going to say participation ribbons. That's not it at all. Accepted videos. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, it really means. I mean, from a personal perspective, it means a lot that you actually took the time to kind of acknowledge that. Hey, we're your fans, and we absolutely love what you're doing. And just the fact that we're giving that feedback just means so much.
If we were a channel that had millions of subscribers, we kind of like expect it. But the fact that we've got 20-something thousand, it means a whole lot. It means that you really do care about your audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much, guys. And so stay tuned because next year this is going to be bigger and better than it was this year. I mean, fingers crossed. I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Pyrotechnics.
That's right. Have an awesome night. And everyone, drive home safely. No drinking and driving.
No, never.
Do lots of drugs, though.
Well, just don't drive.
Bye.
Bye.